Captain Jake Morrison walked across the bridge of the USS Defiant. The ship was small compared to the big war vessels back home. It had only 200 people on board. Jake liked his crew. They were good people who did their jobs well. The Defiant was not a fighting ship. It was made to explore space and find new worlds. For 3 months, they had been flying around the edge of human space. They looked at planets and stars. They sent reports back to Earth. It was quiet work, but Jake liked it. Chief Engineer Lisa Brooks was fixing something in the engine room. She was always busy keeping the ship running. Lisa was smart and could fix anything. The crew trusted her with their lives every day. On the bridge, Communications Officer Danny Rodriguez sat at his station. He listened to radio signals from space. Most of the time, he heard nothing but static. Today felt different. Danny frowned as he heard something strange. "Captain," Danny said, "I'm getting weird signals from deep space." Jake walked over to Danny's station. "What kind of signals?" "I don't know yet. They're very far away, but they're getting stronger." Dr. Amy Walsh was in the medical bay, checking supplies. She was the ship's doctor. Amy took care of everyone when they got hurt or sick. The crew loved her because she was kind and always helped them feel better. Tactical Officer Ryan Carter was studying star maps. His job was to watch for dangers in space. Ryan was good at his work. He could spot trouble before it found them. Today, he felt worried about something, but he could not say what. Navigator Beth Collins was at her station, planning their next route. She knew where they were going and how to get there safely. Beth was careful and never made mistakes. The ship needed her to find the right path through space. "Captain," Danny called out again, "the signals are getting much stronger. I think something big is coming our way." Jake felt his stomach tighten. "Can you tell what it is?" "Not yet, but there are a lot of them. Maybe hundreds of ships." The bridge became quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Jake knew that hundreds of ships meant trouble. No human fleet was supposed to be in this area. Danny tried to decode those signals. "I want to know who's sending them." "Yes, sir." Jake pressed a button on his chair. "All hands, this is the captain. We may have visitors coming. Everyone stay ready." Security Chief Tony Martinez was in the armory, checking weapons. He heard the captain's announcement and felt his heart beat faster. Tony's job was to protect the ship and crew. He hoped they would not need to fight today. Pilot Officer Karen Stone was at the helm, ready to fly the ship wherever Jake wanted to go. She was the best pilot in the fleet. Karen could make the Defiant dance through space like a bird in the sky. "Captain," Danny said, his voice shaking, "I've decoded part of the signal. It's not human." Jake felt cold. "Alien?" "Yes, sir." "And Captain, there are exactly 1,000 ships heading our way." The bridge went dead silent. 1,000 ships was an army. The Defiant was just one small exploration vessel. They had some weapons, but not enough to fight 1,000 enemy ships. "How long until they get here?" Jake asked. Beth quickly worked on her computer. 6 hours, Captain, maybe less." Jake thought fast. They could try to run, but the Defiant was not very fast. The alien ships would catch them easily. They could send a message to Earth, but help would take weeks to arrive. "Danny, keep working on those signals. I want to know everything about these aliens." "Yes, sir." Jake looked around the bridge. His crew was scared, but they were still doing their jobs. These were good people. They deserved better than to die alone in space. "Captain," Danny said, "I've got more of the signal decoded. They call themselves the Corvani Empire. They're talking about destroying human colonies." Jake's blood turned to ice. The aliens were not just passing through. They were coming to kill humans. If the Defiant ran away, the aliens would reach human colonies and kill millions of people. Sir, Danny continued, they think humans are weak. They want to wipe us out completely. Jake closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, he knew what he had to do. The Defiant was the only thing standing between the aliens and innocent human families. All hands, this is the captain. Report to your battle stations. We're going to make a stand. The crew looked at each other. They knew the odds were impossible. One ship against 1,000 was suicide. But they also knew that Earth was depending on them. Lisa Brooks left the engine room and came to the bridge. Captain, the ship is as ready as she ever be. Dr. Walsh secured the medical bay and prepared for wounded crew members. Tony Martinez distributed weapons to the crew. Karen Stone tested the ship's flying controls. Captain, Ryan Carter said. We can't win this fight. Jake nodded. Maybe not. But we can make them remember that they fought humans today. The crew smiled at that. They were scared, but they were proud too. They would show these aliens what humans were made of. 6 hours, Jake said. Let's use the time we have. The USS Defiant continued flying through space, heading toward the biggest fight of their lives. The alien fleet came out of hyperspace like a wall of metal and death. Jake Morrison watched from the bridge as 1,000 Corvani ships appeared on the screen. Each ship was 3 times bigger than the Defiant. They moved in perfect lines, like soldiers marching to war. My God, whispered Beth Collins, there are so many of them. The alien ships were beautiful and terrible. They had smooth silver hulls that reflected the light of nearby stars. Strange blue lights ran along their sides. Jake had never seen anything like them before. Danny, are they trying to talk to us? Jake asked. Yes, sir. They're sending a message. Now, the main screen flickered. An alien face appeared. It had gray skin and large black eyes. When it spoke, the computer translated its words into English. Human vessel, you are in the path of the Corvani Empire. Surrender now and your death will be quick. Resist and you will suffer. Jake stood up straight. He looked directly at the alien commander. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Defiant. We do not surrender. We do not run. If you want to pass through human space, you'll have to go through us first. The alien's face showed surprise. You have 1 ship. We have 1,000. You cannot win. Maybe not, Jake said. But we'll make you pay for every inch of space you take. The alien commander's expression changed to anger. So be it. Prepare to die, human. The screen went black. Jake turned to his crew. You heard him. Let's show them what humans can do. Lisa Brooks had been working in the engine room for hours. She pushed the ship's power systems to their limits. The Defiant was small, but it was fast. Lisa made sure. They would have every advantage speed could give them. Captain, Lisa said over the radio, I've got the engines running at 120%. We can't keep this up forever, but we'll be faster than anything they have. Good work, Lisa. We're going. To need every bit of speed we can get. Karen Stone sat at the pilot controls. Her hands moved over the buttons like she was playing a piano. Karen knew every trick for flying a ship. She would make the Defiant dance around the alien fleet like a leaf in the wind. Captain, Karen said, I've got an idea. Their ships are huge, but that makes them slow. If we stay close to them, they can't shoot at us without hitting each other. Jake smiled. That's good thinking, Karen. Get us in close. The Defiant raced toward the alien fleet. Ryan Carter worked at the weapons station. Their ship had 12 LASER cannons and 50 missiles. It was not much against 1,000 ships, but Ryan would make every shot count. Weapons ready, Captain, Ryan reported. Tony, how are we doing on defense? Security Chief Tony Martinez was watching the damage control teams. We're ready, sir. If they hit us, We'll fix it fast. Double quotes. Dr. Amy Walsh was in the medical bay. She had turned it into a field hospital. Amy knew there would be wounded crew members before this fight was over. She was ready to save as many lives as she could. The alien fleet began to move. The ships spread out in a wide formation. They were trying to surround the Defiant. Jake saw their plan and knew he had to act fast. Karen, take us straight at there. Center, full speed. Yes, sir. The Defiant shot forward like a bullet. The alien ships were not ready for such a bold move. They began firing their weapons, but the human ship was moving too fast to hit easily. Now, Ryan, hit them with everything. We have. Ryan's fingers flew over his controls. The Defiant's weapons opened fire. Bright red laser beams shot out and struck the nearest alien ship. The enemy vessel's shields flashed and sparked. Direct hit, Ryan called out. Their shields are down to 80%. Keep firing. The Defiant flew between two massive alien ships. The enemy vessels were so close that Jake could see their weapons turrets tracking his ship, but Karen was too good a pilot. She spun the Defiant around and under the alien ships before they could fire. Denny, can you jam their communications? Working. On it, Captain. Their system is different from ours, but I think I can cause some interference. The alien fleet was having trouble coordinating their attack. The Defiant was moving too fast and too unpredictably. Several alien ships fired at once, but they hit each other instead of the human vessel. Lisa, can you give us more power to the weapons? I'm trying, Captain. But if I push the engines any harder, we might lose them completely. Jake made a quick decision. Do it. We need to hit them as hard as we can while we have the chance. Lisa rerouted power from life support to the weapons. The air on the ship became thinner, but the laser cannons fired twice as fast. The Defiance. Weapons tore into the alien ships like angry hornets. We destroyed one, Ryan shouted. The big one on the left just exploded. The crew cheered. They had actually destroyed an alien ship. But Jake knew they had 999 more to go. The alien fleet began to adapt. They formed smaller groups that could move faster. Jake saw that their surprise attack was working, but it would not last long. Karen, get us into that asteroid field. We need cover. Right away, Captain. The Defiant flew toward a field of floating rocks. The asteroids were big enough to hide behind, but small enough to fly through. It was dangerous, but it was their only chance. The alien ships followed them into the asteroids. But the Corvani were not used to flying in such tight spaces. 3 of their ships crashed into asteroids and exploded. They're not as good at flying. As they think, Karen said with a grin, the Defiant hid behind a large asteroid. Jake looked at the damage reports. They had taken some hits, but the ship was still fighting. More importantly, they had destroyed 12 alien ships. We're hurting them, Jake said. But we need a better plan if we're going to win this fight. The battle had just begun, and already the crew of the Defiant was proving that humans would not go quietly into the night. The Defiant floated quietly behind a large asteroid. Jake Morrison watched the alien ships search for them. The Corvani fleet had lost 12 ships, but they still had 988 left. Jake knew they needed a new plan. Lisa, what do you have in the yacht? Engine room that can help us? Chief Engineer Lisa Brooks was studying the ship's systems. Captain, I've been thinking about our quantum torpedoes. We only have 6 of them, but they're experimental weapons. What makes them special? They don't just explode. They mess with the energy in enemy ships. If we hit the right spot, we might be able to cause a chain reaction. Jake felt hope for the first time since the battle started. How does it work? The torpedo creates a quantum field that makes the alien ship's power core unstable. If there are other ships close by, the explosion can spread from ship to ship. Ryan Carter looked up from his weapons station. That means we need to get them bunched up together. Exactly, Lisa said. But we have to be very close when we fire. The quantum torpedoes are short-range weapons. Jake thought about the plan. It was dangerous, but it might work. How close do we need to be? Less than 1,000 meters. Any farther and the torpedo won't work. Karen Stone whistled. That's practically touching them. Their guns will tear us apart. Maybe, Jake said, but it's our best chance. Danny Rodriguez was working at his station. Captain, I've been listening to their radio chatter. I think I found something useful. What is it? Their ships communicate through a central network. If I can hack into it, I might be able to confuse their targeting systems. Jake nodded. Do it. We need every advantage we can get. The alien fleet was moving closer to their hiding spot. Jake knew they would find the Defiant soon. Lisa, how? Long to modify the torpedoes? Give me 20 minutes. You have 10. Lisa ran back to the engine room. She worked faster than she had ever worked before. The quantum torpedoes were dangerous weapons. One mistake could blow up their own ship. Dr. Amy Walsh was treating injured crew members. 3 people had been hurt in the first attack. Amy worked quickly to patch them up so they could return to their stations. How are they doing, Amy? Jake asked. They'll live, Captain. But we're going to have more wounded before this is over. Beth Collins was studying the alien fleet's movements. Captain, I noticed something strange about how they fly. What do you see? They move in perfect formation. Every ship stays in exactly the right position. It's like they're following a computer program. Jake looked at the screen. Beth was right. The alien ships moved like they were dancing to music only they could hear. What does that mean for us? It means they're not used to fighting enemies who don't follow rules. We're unpredictable, and that confuses them. Tony Martinez was checking the ship's armor. Captain, we can take maybe 3 more direct hits before we lose main power. Then, we better not get hit. Lisa's voice came over the radio. Captain, the torpedoes are ready, but I need to warn you about something. What? The quantum field affects our ship too. When we fire, we'll have exactly 30 seconds to get away before the explosion reaches us. Jake felt his stomach drop. 30 seconds? Maybe less. The field spreads at light speed. Karen Stone cracked her knuckles. No pressure. The alien ships were getting closer. Jake could see their weapons charging up. All right, everyone. This is our chance to hurt them badly. Danny, can you hack their system? I'm in, Captain. Their network is more complex than ours, but I can cause some interference. Do it. Danny's fingers flew over his keyboard. Suddenly, several alien ships began firing at empty space. Their targeting computers were confused by the false signals Danny was sending. Nice work, Danny. Karen, take us out of here. Head straight for the biggest group of alien ships. Yes, sir. The Defiant shot out from behind the asteroid like a rocket. The alien ships were surprised by the sudden attack. They scrambled to turn their weapons toward the human vessel. Lisa, are the torpedoes ready? Ready, Captain. Remember, we need to be very close. The Defiant raced toward a group of 20 alien ships. They were flying in a tight formation, which was exactly what Jake wanted. The enemy vessels began firing at them. Karen, evasive maneuvers. Karen made the ship spin and dive like a wild animal. The alien weapons missed them by inches. Jake could see the enemy ships getting bigger on the screen. How close are we? 1,500 meters, Beth called out. Not close enough. Keep going. The Defiant flew between 2 alien ships. The enemy vessels were so close that Jake could see their weapon ports. Laser beams shot past the bridge windows. 1,200 meters, Beth said. The ship shook as an alien weapon hit their rear shields. Shields down to 60%, Tony reported. 1,000 meters, Beth called out. Fire the torpedoes, Jake ordered. Ryan launched all 6 quantum torpedoes at once. The weapons flew toward the alien ships like bright stars. They struck the nearest enemy vessel and disappeared into its hull, torpedoes away. Karen, get us out of here. Now. Karen hit the engines at full power. The Defiant shot away from the alien fleet as fast as it could go. Jake counted the seconds in his head. 25, 26, 20-7. The first alien ship began to glow with strange blue light. The light spread to the ship next to it, then to the next one. Within seconds, 20 alien ships were glowing, like blue suns. 30 seconds, Jake said that the alien ships exploded all at once. The blast was so bright that the main screen had to dim itself. When the light faded, 20 enemy vessels were gone. In their place was a field of glowing debris. The crew of the Defiant cheered. They had just destroyed 20 alien ships with 6 torpedoes. But Jake knew they were not done yet. Danny, how are the aliens reacting? They're confused, Captain. They don't understand what just happened. Their commanders are arguing about what to do next. Jake smiled. Good. Confusion is our friend. Lisa, can you make more quantum torpedoes? I can try, Captain. But it will take time. Beth, where should we hit them next? Beth studied the alien formation. There's another group of ships near the edge of their fleet. If we can get there without being seen, we might be able to repeat the attack. Jake nodded. Karen, plot a course around their flank. Use the asteroids for cover. The Defiant began to move again. They had hurt the alien fleet badly, but there were still 968 enemy ships left. The real battle was just beginning. The alien fleet was learning. Jake Morrison watched from the bridge as the Corvani ships changed their formation. Instead of flying in tight groups, they spread out across space. The chain reaction attack would not work anymore. They're adapting. Faster than I hoped, Jake said. Lisa Brooks was in the engine room, trying to make more quantum torpedoes. Captain, I can only make 2 more. We don't have enough materials for the others. 2 will have to be enough. The Defiant had been fighting for 3 hours. The ship was damaged and the crew was tired. But they had destroyed 32 alien ships. There were 968 left. Danny, what are they saying to each other? Communications Officer Danny Rodriguez was listening to alien radio chatter. They're angry, Captain. Their commander is being criticized for losing so many ships to one human vessel. Good. Angry enemies make mistakes. Dr. Amy Walsh was treating more wounded crew members. A laser blast had burned through the hull and hurt 5 people. Amy worked quickly to save them. Captain, Amy said over the radio, I need you to know that we're running low on medical supplies. If we take many more hits like that, I won't be able to help everyone. Jake felt the weight of command on his shoulders. Every decision he made could mean life or death for his crew. I understand, Amy. I'll try to avoid taking hits. Ryan Carter was studying the alien weapons. Captain, I've noticed something about their guns. They're designed to fight ships like theirs. Our smaller size and different technology confuse their targeting systems. What do you mean? Their computers expect us to behave like a Corvani ship. When we fly erratically, their weapons can't lock on properly. Karen Stone looked up from her controls. That's why they keep missing us when I fly crazy patterns. Exactly. We need to keep being unpredictable. Tony Martinez was leading repair teams around the ship. Captain, we've got hull breaches on decks. 3 and 7. The crew is working to seal them, but we're losing air fast. How long before it becomes a problem? Maybe an hour, sir. Less if we take more damage. Jake made a decision. All non-essential crew to the central sections of the ship. Seal off the damaged areas. Beth Collins was tracking the alien fleet's movement. Captain, some of their ships are breaking away from the main group. I think they're trying to surround us. Jake looked at the tactical display. The aliens were sending 200 ships to circle around the asteroid field. If the Defiant stayed hidden, they would be trapped. We need to move. Karen, take us toward the main fleet. Sir, that's where most of their ships are. I know, but it's the last place they'll expect us to go. The Defiant flew out from behind the asteroids. The alien fleet was waiting for them. Hundreds of weapons began firing at once. The space around. The human ship filled with deadly energy beams. Karen, remember what Ryan said? Fly like no computer would expect. Karen made the ship roll and spin in patterns that made no sense. The alien weapons fired where the Defiant should have been, but the ship was somewhere else entirely. Their hit rate is down to 20%, Ryan reported. Confusion is working. The Defiant flew straight at the alien command ship. It was the biggest vessel in the fleet, 3 times larger than the others. Jake could see its massive weapons. Turning to track them. Lisa, are those 2 torpedoes ready? Ready, Captain. But remember, we need to be very close. I know. Ryan, target their command ship with conventional weapons. Let's get their attention. The Defiant's laser cannons opened fire. The red beams struck the alien command ship's shields. The massive vessel began to turn toward them. Danny, can you hack into their command ship systems? I'm trying, Captain. Their security is better than the other ships. The alien command ship fired its main weapon. A beam of purple energy shot toward the Defiant. Karen spun the ship sideways just in time. The beam missed them by meters. That was close, Karen said. Too close. Lisa, we need those torpedoes now. Almost there, Captain. 1,500 meters. The Defiant dove under the alien command ship. The massive vessel was so big that it blocked out the stars. Jake could see weapon ports opening all along its hull, 1,200 meters. Karen, they're about to fire everything they have. Get ready to move. 1,000 meters. Fire torpedoes. Ryan launched both quantum torpedoes at the command ship's center. The weapons disappeared into the alien vessel's hull. The Defiant immediately turned and flew away at full speed. Move, 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 Jake shouted. The command ship began to glow with blue light. But something was wrong. The light was not spreading to other ships. The alien commander had learned from the earlier attack and kept his ship away from the others. 20 seconds, Jake counted. The command ship exploded in a ball of blue fire. The blast was huge, but it only destroyed one ship. The alien fleet was still intact. We got their command ship, Ryan said. But they're still organized, Beth added. They have backup commanders. Jake felt frustration building. They had used their best weapons and only destroyed one more ship. There were 967 alien vessels left. Danny, how are they reacting to losing their command ship? They're angry, Captain. Really angry. The new commander is ordering all ships to focus on us. Jake watched as the entire alien fleet turned toward the Defiant. Nearly 1,000 ships were now pointing their weapons at his small vessel. Lisa, how are the engines holding up? They're at 80% efficiency, Captain. We can't run at full speed much longer. Amy, how are the crew doing? They're tired and scared, but they're still fighting. Jake looked around the bridge. His crew was exhausted, but they had not given up. They had been fighting impossible odds for hours, and they were still alive. Tony, can we still fight? We have weapons and shields, Captain. We're hurt, but we're not beaten. Jake felt pride in his crew. They were the best people he had ever served with. If they were going to die today, they would die fighting. All right, everyone. They want to focus on us. Let's give them something to focus on. Karen, take us straight at them. All of them. Sir? All of them. The Defiant turned toward the alien fleet. Nearly 1,000 enemy ships were waiting for them. It looked like flying into the mouth of a giant monster. Here we go, Jake said. The small human ship raced toward the alien fleet. The crew of the Defiant was ready for the fight of their lives. They had come this far. They would not stop now. The final battle was about to begin. The final battle began with a wall of enemy fire. Jake Morrison watched hundreds of alien weapons shoot at his ship. The space around the Defiant became a deadly light show of purple and blue energy beams. Karen, show them what human pilots can do. Karen Stone made the ship dance through the incoming fire. She flew patterns that no computer could predict. The Defiant rolled, spun, and dove like a bird avoiding a storm. They're hitting us, but not as much as they should, Tony Martinez reported. Shields at 40%. Jake looked at the tactical display. The alien fleet was so focused on destroying the Defiant that they were not thinking clearly. Some of their ships were firing at positions where the human vessel had been seconds before. Lisa, I need everything you can give me. Power, speed, weapons. I'm giving you everything, Captain. The engines are running at 130%. We can't keep this up much longer. We don't need much longer. Jake had a plan. It was crazy and dangerous, but it was their only chance. He looked at his crew. They were tired and scared, but they trusted him. Danny, can you overload their communication system? I think so, Captain. If I send a feedback pulse through their network, it might confuse them for a few minutes. Do it. Danny worked at his station. Suddenly, the alien fleet began to slow down. Their ships were not coordinating properly. Some stopped firing while others shot at empty space. It's working, Danny said, but it won't last long. That's all we need. Ryan, target the ships that are closest together. Fire everything we have. The Defiant's weapons opened fire. Laser. Cannons and missiles struck the alien vessels. 3 enemy ships exploded in balls of fire. Direct hits, Ryan called out. But the alien fleet was recovering from the communication attack. They began to organize again. Jake knew they had maybe 2 minutes before the aliens would be fully coordinated. Karen, take us to the center of their formation. Sir, that's suicide. Maybe, but it's also where we can do the most damage. The Defiant flew straight into the heart of the alien fleet. Enemy ships surrounded them on all sides. It was like being inside a cage made of metal and weapons. Beth, how many ships are around us? 200, Captain. They're closing in. Jake felt strangely calm. Good. That means they're all in one place. Captain, Lisa said over the radio, I've got an idea. If I overload the main reactor, the explosion will be big enough to take out most of the ships around. That would kill us too. Yes, sir. But it might save the human colonies. Jake looked at his crew. They were all listening to the conversation. He saw in their faces that they understood what Lisa was suggesting. Is that what you all want to do? Dr. Amy Walsh spoke first. Captain, I became a doctor to save lives. If we can save millions of people by giving our lives, then we should do it. Ryan Carter nodded. I joined the fleet to protect humanity. This is protecting humanity. One by one, each crew member agreed. They were willing to die to stop the alien fleet from reaching human colonies. Jake felt proud and sad at the same time. These were the best people he had ever known. But he was not ready to give up yet. Lisa, how long would it take to overload the reactor? 5 minutes, Captain. Give me 3 minutes first. I want to try something. Jake opened a channel to the alien fleet. Corvani, Commander, this is Captain Morrison. I want to talk. The alien commander's face appeared on the screen. You are about to die, human. What could you possibly say? I want to know why you're doing this. Why do you want to kill humans? The alien looked confused. Because you are weak. The galaxy belongs to the strong. We're not weak. We're different. We think differently than you do. You have one small ship. We have hundreds. You will be destroyed. Jake smiled. Maybe, but we've already destroyed 33 of your ships. How many human colonies could those ships have attacked? The alien commander's face showed anger. You got lucky. Did we? Or did we win because we think in ways you don't understand? Jake was buying time, but he was also learning something important. The aliens were not just advanced. They were predictable. They followed rules and patterns. Karen, can you make the ship spin while we're talking? Yes, sir. The Defiant began to rotate slowly. The alien ships around them had to adjust their aim constantly. It was a small thing, but it was making them work harder. Danny, are you still connected to their communication system? Yes, Captain. What do you want me to do? I want you to make them think we're going to self-destruct. Send a signal that looks like we're overloading our reactor. Danny worked at his keyboard. Suddenly, the alien ships began to move away from the Defiant. They thought the human vessel was about to explode. It's working, Beth said. They're pulling back. Now, Karen, full speed toward their weakest formation. The Defiant shot forward like a bullet. The alien ships were surprised by the sudden movement. They had expected an explosion, not an attack. Ryan, fire at will. The human ship's weapons blazed. In the confusion, they destroyed 5 more alien vessels before the enemy could react. They're getting angry, Danny reported. Really angry. Jake watched the alien fleet regroup. They were no longer being careful. They were charging at the Defiant with everything they had. Captain, Lisa said, their anger is making them sloppy. Look at their formation. Jake looked at the tactical display. The alien ships were bunched together in their rage. They were not maintaining proper distance from each other. They're making the same mistake they made at the beginning, Jake said. Ryan, do we have any missiles left? 6, Captain. Fire them at the closest group. Let's see if we can get them to shoot each other. The missiles flew toward the alien ships. The enemy vessels began firing at the incoming weapons. But in their anger, they were not being careful about their aim. Several alien ships were hit by weapons fire from their own fleet. The Corvani were so focused on destroying the Defiant that they were hurting themselves. They're fighting each other, Ryan said with amazement. Fear and anger make people stupid, Jake said. Even aliens. The alien fleet was falling apart. Some ships were firing at the Defiant. Others were firing at the missiles. A few were accidentally shooting their own vessels. This is our chance. Jake said, all weapons, continuous fire. Don't stop shooting until we're out of ammunition. The Defiant attacked with everything it had. The small human ship darted between the confused alien vessels, firing at anything that moved. The crew worked together like they had never worked before. We're hitting them hard, Ryan reported. 15 more ships destroyed, but the alien fleet was huge. Even with all their losses, there were still over 900 ships left. Jake knew they could not win by fighting normally. Lisa, I need you to do something crazy with the engines. What do you want, Captain? Can you make the ship look like it's going to explode without actually exploding? Lisa thought for a moment. I can overload the energy signature. It will look like we're about to blow up, but we won't actually do it. How long can you fake it? Maybe 30 seconds. After that, they'll know it's a trick. Jake looked at the alien fleet. They were still angry and confused. Maybe they could use that anger against them. Do it. Make them think we're going to take As many of them with us as possible. Lisa began working on the engines. The Defiant's energy readings spiked dramatically. To the alien sensors, it looked like the human ship was about to explode. "It's working," Danny said. "They're backing away from us. Now, Karen, take us straight at their main formation." Full speed. The Defiant raced toward the center of the alien fleet. The enemy ships scattered in all directions. They thought the human vessel was a flying bomb. 20 seconds, Lisa warned. The alien ships were running into each other in their panic. Jake watched as two massive Corvani vessels collided and exploded. The confusion was spreading through their entire fleet. 10 seconds. "Lisa, can you make it look like we're losing control?" "Yes, sir." The Defiant began to spin wildly. It looked like the ship was out of control and about to crash into the alien fleet. More enemy vessels scattered in panic. "Time's up," Lisa said. "They're going to figure out it's a trick. Then let's give them something real to worry about. Ryan, fire everything we have at their fuel ships." Jake had noticed that some of the alien vessels were carrying fuel for the fleet. If they could destroy those ships, the explosion would be real and devastating. "I see them," Ryan said. "Firing now." The Defiant's remaining weapons struck the alien fuel ships. The explosions were enormous. Chain reactions spread through the enemy fleet as fuel fires jumped from ship to ship. "We did it," Beth shouted. "Look at them burn." The alien fleet was in chaos. Dozens of ships were on fire. Others were trying to escape the spreading explosions. The perfect formation was completely destroyed. "Danny, what are they saying?" "They're panicking, Captain. Some want to retreat. Others want to keep fighting." Jake saw his chance. Open a channel to their fleet. The alien commander appeared on screen. His face showed fear and anger. "What do you want, human?" "I want you to leave human space and never come back. We still outnumber you. We can still win." Jake looked at the burning alien fleet. "Can you? You came here with 1,000 ships. How many do you have left?" The alien commander looked at his own tactical display. Jake could see the shock on his face. The Corvani fleet had lost over 400 ships. The small human vessel had destroyed almost half of their mighty armada.